welcome. Welcome you sa inyong lahat. Oh man, that's how people always, I think at church. Yeah, at church. So that's how they always start. Welcome sa inyong lahat. It's Tagalog if you didn't know. Yeah man, been a fucking minute. Where do I start? Let's start with some excuses. Oh, so many fucking things. I don't even know what I want to talk about. I don't know if I want to do HoogkinBan Salon or a Hogan fights. There's shit on both that I want to talk about. Damn. But this one, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make some notes. Since it's been like, I don't know. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I was like, yeah, I'll fucking plan it out, dude. No. I had to clean up a bunch of shit. Blah blah. It's like, fuck it. Just go back to the original game plan of winging it. So that's what this is. That's what you get. That's what I get. That's what I'm giving. That's what you're getting. That's what we get. We're sharing it together. It's a journey. Oh no. Might be old. Oops. Yeah, if you're just audio listening, I think this expired. I don't know. I'm getting a little taste. We'll see. Shout out Apothecary. So let's see. I already started 3 tangents that I didn't even take 2 steps down. Yeah, it's been a minute. I was doing... Oh, yeah, excuses. I was doing school. I'm still doing school. Finished my bachelor's in December, and I started a grad program in January. And the first term went... it's all gone well. It's an adjustment. Grad school's way way better than undergrad, because undergrad is like... feels like high school for adults almost. And like, maybe it's just a grad program I'm in. I don't know. But it's... feels more like like an adult, because it feels like my regular, like a job, you know. It's like first of all, it's like all the due dates are like soft due dates, so it's like you have 12 weeks, like, hey, here's the assignments, here's the expectations, get it done. Usually there's a group project in there too, which is perfect for my style of winging it, as you see here. I tell people all the time that if it wasn't for the last minute, I would never get anything done. Meaning, it's said simply, I tend to procrastinate, but also I work better, or I don't know. I feel like I tend to. I don't want to say I work better under pressure, but I do. I think in general, I perform well under pressure in a way. I don't enjoy it, so maybe that's why that's like part of the motivation. But I don't know. I guess I could brain wrangle that if I wanted. But anyways, the point of it is saying that grad school's way better than undergrad, and so I procrastinated, and then I got bunch of my projects backed up, and then like, of course, and like one of them, like in my last term, we had a group project. I think we had four people in my group. Four or five, I don't know, whatever. It's at least 4. Let's say 4. I don't know, saying that. And then like 2 of the dudes, like one of the dudes never responded. Another one, he responded in the beginning, and then when it came down to like close to the deadline, we never heard from him. So it ended up, me and one other dude, we ended up being the ones that did our whole group project. My point of all saying is that was just bad time management, and I got slammed, and then things snowballed, and then summer happened, then this and then that, so neglected some things. Also had to do some personal maintenance of so I've been I was posting stuff on Instagram. I was doing because I like making the memes, making the memes. It sounds like making the memes, and making memes, and then also just general, I guess they call it fan art, because I make different stuff for Started out really for MMA fighters and or people, because I did like a Ariel Helwani one. Check it out, it's pretty good. I'm fucking. Oh shit, do I have it on the right one? Yeah, good. I'm pretty fucking impressed. Like, what do they call it when the cook pats himself or whatever, or compliments the chef and you're the chef, that sort of thing. Sorry, ASMR. What was I saying? Oh yeah. But so they look. Oh, the Ariel Helwani one. No, maybe I'll put it up. But it actually, yeah, it's a GIF. GIF. I think it's a GIF. Yeah, GIF. Because graphic something F. Graphic interface file? Whatever. G stands for graphic. So graphic. GIF. Not. Or GIF. Graphic. Not giraffe. It's not. So GIF. Giraffe. It's not. Yeah, it's not giraffe. It's GIF. There we go. So GIF. Anyways, I'll put it up. And one here. Area's fine. But anyways, yeah. So I post all that shit on what do you call it? Instagram mostly. Started a Facebook. There's a Facebook page now for HoogkinBan Salon. And such a fucking boomer, I guess, as they say, as the millenniums say. Yeah. So the Facebook page, and then what's the other thing? Because there's like a page, and then there's another thing, a club. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. I boycotted Facebook for years, literal years, but I just made one for this, and then pretty much try to get on it and like post, and then get out of there, because it's a death trap. And then the same thing was happening with Instagram. I was just fucking scrolling, because originally I was good about it, and then it just turned into like, I mean, there's just so much stuff, because that's where I was getting a lot of news or finding information, because announcements directly from whatever I'm interested, the things that I follow, podcasts or fighters or different events and shit like that. But then I've kind of got into where it was just like, I found that I was just fucking scrolling. And then, they have the little thing in there that tells you like how much time you spend on there. And like, I started out pretty good, and then eventually like it's on there is like 2 hours. And I'm like, fuck, I don't have. And then, like, at the end of the day, when I look at it, and it's like, oh yeah, I spent 2 hours scrolling through fucking Instagram. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't have enough time in the day as it is. And then to look at it and be like, see like hard numbers like that. Obviously I'm probably doing other things, so I have it by the side while I'm doing it, but still 2 hours, that's a lot of time out of the day. So anyways, what was the point of me saying that? Oh, the point of me saying that is I got rid of any kind of like social media. I think that was the only one I had. Instagram. Yeah, because I don't think there might be a HoogkinBan Salon Twitter, but I never use it. And then so I think Instagram was the only one, and then I never got the app for the Facebook. I just made the account. Anyways, the point is, so now I just get on like log in on the computer. So it's deliberate. It's like, all right, if I'm gonna go on there, it's deliberate, and then I have to log in and then hit my post, and then get out, or check messages or whatever, and then do what do they call it? Engagement. You go through and speaking of, I mentioned this in talking with Tim. I don't remember which one, but damn, so many tangents. How to grow the show. I'll pop it up. I think it's called How to Grow the Show or Grow the Show podcast. This dude Kevin, something with a C, Chemidlin or Chemidlin. I think Kevin Chemidlin maybe. Anyways, I'll put it up too. So he goes through and he talks. He's for growing podcasts, and he talks about different kind of tactics. I was in TTPs. What's the word? Not tactics, just like methods, and what's another word? Fuck, can't just speak English. I go. Anyways, yeah. different. Fuck, there's another word that's driving me nuts. Not tactics. I'm sure someone's thinking of it. Anyway, so different methods of and practices of how to grow viewership or member numbers or whatever. And one of them talks about engagement. And it's funny because like not all of it, but there's a lot of the things where he talks about the concept. It's like he puts kind of names and steps to the practices or techniques that seem like as concepts. I've thought of that as a concept, but now he's kind of packaged it in a way that you can look at it and be like, oh, all right, I want to grow membership and do it through engagement. So like one of the things is water hole, go to the water hole or whatever. And it's a thing I was doing anyways. It's like you go to the, we'll just say podcast. We'll use that for example. So like a podcast that you're interested in, or this is for a growing podcast. So if it's related to your podcast or related to your whatever your social media account is, whatever kind of audience that you're targeting or that you would like, or whatever audience that you have, you go to the like whatever podcast or other types of shows or things that individuals or people that are related to that, and like make a comment, like a substantive comment, not just liking, you know what I mean, or I guess even liking in a way kind of, but when you like make that like the actual engagement of like they put a photo and you're like, oh, this reminds me of this, or say something, not just like, oh wow, cool, good for you, peach emoji, put something like I said, substantive. I can't say the word, but I think you know what I mean. I'll put it up. So substantive of substance. Make it of substance. That it's not just like, throwing it out there. Like actually it should show that you're engaged in whatever the message or the social thing that's going on. And then people will see that and they'll be like, oh, what is this person? Oh, this person made a comment or like, contributed to this conversation, and then they go and check you out, and then they blah, blah, blah. Then it follows on from there. And so he says, like, do that block out 15 minutes per day that you can go and do that. So, yeah. How's that? I felt like I had more steam and it was going to go somewhere else, but that's it. That's it. What was the other things I wanted to talk about? Because I was going to say... Oh, yeah. So with Tim... Oh, yeah, that Tim Talks. So in one of the episodes, or a couple of them, we're talking about the lost episodes. So I did find it. I think it's... I don't know what the number is. I'll put it up. Whatever the lost episode, it was number... That one, whatever. So I did find it. Because Tim scolds me in like 2 of them about the lost episode. I uploaded it to the cloud instead of to having it record to the fucking hard drive. So mystery solved. No, everybody was worried. Now y'all can fucking sleep at night. Sorry. How rude. Oh, this is random. Fuck, there's some other stuff that I wanted to get to, but I'm just gonna ramble and see. This is really just to get my fucking brain working again. I haven't done this in a while. This show. Have y'all seen the show Downton Abbey? Man, I feel like I've heard of it before, but I like British shows, like that BBC. David Attenborough. But oh yeah. So Downton Abbey. Yeah, I've heard. I mean, I know I've heard of it, and then but I don't think I've ever heard like no one I know like talk about it, or maybe they did, but it didn't sound. Just the name Downton Abbey, that doesn't sound too exciting. But I saw something else. I can't remember what it was, and it was like the new Downton Abbey. So I was like, oh, if they're referencing this other one, you know what I mean? If they're like, because you know, when everyone was like, oh, this is Tarantino-esque, kind of like, you know, it's like, oh, it must be pretty good for to that's high praise kind of thing. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll check it out. First episode, hooked immediately. It's, and I guess it's been out since 2015. So, spoiler. Sorry about the spoilers, but I guess it's been out for fucking over 5 years. What is it, 21 right now? I don't even know what year it is. There's other things. So the Olympics are going. I was like, 2020 Olympics. I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, COVID. Anyways, 2 steps back. Yeah, so hooked immediately. So the story, because I something I've let's see, noticed about myself, I guess maybe, is I enjoy not well constructed. Well, yeah, for sure, well constructed stories, but I appreciate, you know, the intricate and nuanced storytelling. Yeah. And I like to have, or not, maybe not to have to, but I like when it feels rewarding when I'm like pulling little strings and stories and tying things together, or and like getting later down in the storylines, and then like being able to call back to earlier things, or seeing things earlier in the story and set up for later. My daughter hates this. I'm the worst to watch movies with, because we'll watch. Fuck, what did we just? Oh, Cruella. I'll get back to Downton Abbey, but telling this to tell about me. So we're watching Cruella. Great. I loved it. Fucking great movie. Disney, I like what I have a couple critiques too, but fuck it. You're along for the ride. If you're here, you're along for this ride. So Cruella, yeah. So, fuck, what was my point about? Oh, because so we're watching it, and then there's like a scene. Yeah, it just came. I'm not gonna spoil it. So it just came out, so there's a scene where I guess it doesn't matter. Whenever there's something happening, I'm like, ooh, I bet, if someone is like, you know, fucking is walking down the street, and then there's like a stray dog, and then they like, oh, hi doggy, and then they bring it with them, and I'll be like, oh, you think later down the line, like they become friends? I don't know, something stupid like that. Yeah, it doesn't work, I guess, if I don't have a good specific example, but I don't want to give it away. But anyways, that's that idea that, like, at the beginning of stories, I'm trying to kind of plot out, you know, because, you know, all the stories, they follow like that same pattern of fuck, I used to have it written down. Oh no, I do have it written down. There we go. So inciting incident, and then there's the rising action, then the, you know, a complication, then they overcome that, and then the climax, then it reverses, and then there's the fucking comes back down, then the denouement, or denouement, it's a French word. Denouement, I'll put it up. Denouement, I don't know how to say it. Anyways, so in my mind, I'm always trying to plot out where they're gonna go with the story, and I think part of it too is like for some stories, when it's just like at the beginning, I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like I know what's gonna happen what they're gonna, the big reveal, or they're gonna try to fucking what are those called? I can't speak words anymore. Not a big reveal, but whatever the twist is gonna be, like that. And then if I'm able to call it, then I'm like, I'm like, oh, I could have made this movie. Probably something like that, but I mean, not exactly, but I'm sure there's some part of me in my, you know, like everybody, like, oh, I could have done this. I picked out one little critique. I could have fucking done this whole thing better. But anyways, yeah. So I do that all the time, and it I don't know. It's compulsive, I guess. I just like say it out because even there, she's like, "Don't ask me, Daddy. I don't know." I'm like, but it's kind of rhetorical. I'm just thinking out loud because I do the same thing when I'm by myself watching shit. Man, maybe I should record myself watching stuff. I wonder what, for me, I wonder what to see what I look like or what I say or whatever. But anyways, so yeah, so I do that. So then going back to Downton Abbey, I appreciate, intricate and nuanced storylines, and then also I really when there's a lot of interconnecting character the storylines. So there's two different things. There's the storylines, and then there's through the storylines the characters, like the character arc and character development. What's another word that I'm trying to think of? But yeah, so character arc, and then the development of the character as they go and they grow. So they're dynamic. I like dynamic characters, not static characters. And Game of Thrones. Oh, the show great. Yeah, except for after season 5 or even that season 8 terrible. But the books, the world building that George R.R. Martin does is fucking incredible, because he creates, so he, like, literally, I guess not literally, but he, oh no, fucking falling apart here. See what I got going on there, people? Oh, if you're just listening, one of my fucking soundproofing things fell on me, but fucking stay. There you go. There you go. So he's literally building a figurative world, or he's literally figuratively building. I don't know. Anyway, so he's creating a logical construct or whatever. Fuck, I can't think of words. Let me catch up to my brain. So yeah. So he's building a whole world. It's based on it's a world that's similar to, it follows the same laws of physics that we have. Besides couple, it doesn't have high magic. There is magic, but it's not like fucking Harry Potter wands and shit like that. So besides like when you see dragons and then a couple other, gosh damn it, a couple other things. The magic isn't like in the forefront. The magic that is like, it's almost speculative fiction in a way. It's very close. Come on, stay there. Fuck, that threw me off. But anyways, those are great. And then so Downton Abbey, like immediately the storylines and the characters, because it opens up. And I can't remember who the character, so I can't even remember who if it starts out with the, so if you don't know, it's fuck, I want to say the 1800, when did fucking Titanic sink? Ooh. So it's like the first episode, the day that they start is the very first episode starts on the day that, or they get the news of the Titanic sinking. Sinking. 1912. Okay, so I was off by a couple decades, but at least. So so I guess it's 1912. As it starts out. So I don't remember in England where, dang, I'm gonna have to go back and pay better attention, because now I'm trying to think where they're even located. But anyway, so it's this aristocrat family. They're in charge. Fuck yeah. See, so there's so many layers to it already. Like, even just, I'm trying to explain all of it at one time. But part of what I was saying was I don't remember if it starts out with like the, fuck, what's the dude? He's the not a count. Fuck, I don't know what fucking ranks are in British aristocracy is, but so anyways, the dude, the dad that's in charge of everything, and then but it still follows the stories of all the way from the, the not royal, like the the aristocrat level family down to all the servants that work in the house and run the house. So I guess it's really about. Is that house called Downton Abbey? I think I'm like episode 6. I don't know. I can't remember what the dad keeps calling. He's like, I've given my life to. I'm guessing Downton Abbey. Is that what he calls it? I don't know whatever their house is called. No, I can't remember their name. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. But it got me hooked. Anyway, so yeah, it goes from top to bottom, all their stories, and then it's all these like all the like kind of like the like micro politics of each person in the house, like each member of the staff, and everyone has, because it's during a time I don't know what social classes are like now in the UK, I don't know, but during a time when it was like very distinct, and it was like basically like if you're, because it's funny too, it's interesting to see too when they talk about like there's one of the I guess she's a maid, or they even talk about like there's one girl that they always shit on, Daisy, and I don't know I guess she's not I guess she's like just a kitchen maid, I guess. Is that what her title is? But so she's not, like they talk about like, oh, someone needs to go and like even like answer the door or bring something up into the dining room, and they're like, oh, could you imagine a kitchen maid being seen like in the dining room or to answer the door? So it's like it's like a caste, I mean it's class system, but it's like almost like people are born into certain caste, and it's like very frowned upon to want to do anything outside of what is outside of the expectations of that class. So it's like if you're a maid, you're expected to like fulfill a very specific role, because there's like all this what do you call it, customs and courtesies and decorum, and the way you address other people depending on your station, I guess they call it. And yeah. And so like even trying, like one of the girls is Ygritte from fucking Game of Thrones. She so she's like a maid, I guess, like a regular maid. I don't know how the maid rankings work, but she's allowed to like make the beds, and they dress like so like the dude who's in charge of everything, he has a wife and 3 daughters, and like so, and then this is the thing I didn't know too, like all of them, I guess it makes sense for back then. So like they all each have their own like specific servant that like dresses them and like does all their all their bidding. Just like fetch them stuff. So that's their whole job. But then they also have, and then it sounds so, and it's funny. So there's and then there's like a balance too. Like, so the people that are performing service, it's like they realize, like they understand that they're not the people in charge. They're not the fucking aristocrat family. So they're like lower. I get, they're considered lower than, but they're considered beneath. They're considered, literally considered beneath them, but so it's like, oh, you're a servant, but they're also very proud of the work that they do, because they see themselves as, they're like, oh yeah, even though I'm just like, I'm a little servant, slave, cog, in the machine, I'm part of a machine, which is this house, I guess Downton Abbey, which is like this huge estate, and it's like its own like civilization and ecosystem. It's like a civilization and a machine. It's like a living organism almost, and they're a part of it. And what their contributions, their small contributions, they can see how it contributes to the larger mission or larger whatever the thing is. I don't wonder. That's the other thing. I don't know. Is so this is the thing I tried to look up before too. Is I don't know how they make like how do the royal people make money? Like I understand. There's this other show, Gentleman Jack. I think it was on HBO, and I think they only made one episode. It's pretty. I liked the great intro song. Used to be my ringtone, and then the main character that, what was her name? I don't remember. It was a couple years ago I watched it, but anyways, so with them they were stewards of the land, they answered to some other higher aristocrat, but their family, I guess, owned a certain amount of land, and then they had the main house, which was their family house, which were their, I guess, all the houses have different names or whatever, and then, so then they had like tenants, so then they had farmers, and then I think they're also like some kind of mining, so that's whatever. So their tenants would make to be able to live on the land, and they had to like turn over like whatever amount to the house, to the family that owned the land, and then that's how that family made the money. And then obviously they got to pay their money up to, I don't know how they divide up to whoever the king or queen was at the time. So like I can see, so that makes sense to me. I see that, but like the other one, but I guess like for this, because I like the Downton Abbey, it looks like a fucking castle to me when I'm looking at it. So I don't know, maybe they're in charge of like a huge amount of land. So like all the everything that's getting generated is like moving upwards. So maybe that's where their money is coming from. I don't know. I had to look into it. It's interesting to me. I don't know how they generate that money, but they got a bunch, and then they're in charge of maintaining the property and keeping it running. But so this is what it also reminded them, like they have the whole staff for running the house. It reminds me a lot of like military, like running a ship, because like they have the whole, so it's just like this large physical structure that everybody lives in, but everybody has specific roles and stations, and there's like a schedule, and there's ranks, and everything that everybody does has to do with supporting the maintenance of that machine or that structure. So a lot, it reminds me a lot of that sort of thing, like the dad or whatever, he's like the captain of the ship, and then everybody else has to run all their fucking little errands and whatnot. But anyways, I'm trailing off, I think. Downton Abbey, man, it's a cool show. I think there's some other cool stuff about it, but those are interesting questions. Now I do want to try to figure that out. I was like, first I guess I should figure out what is the name of the actual like thing, the house or whatever that they're in charge of, and then what the what do you call it, the structure, like where is the money coming from, what are they actually in charge of, who do they answer to. I mean, like I said, I'm earlier in the show too. I'm on a episode, they're about to go to London, so I guess there's like a certain time of the year when everyone or like all the aristocracy, like the socialites or whatever, the aristocracy, they all go to London, and then there's a certain period of time when they're all there, and that's when everybody like fucking parades around and tries to marry each other off or marry off their children. Oh, and that's like another huge part of the thing too, is like because the dude's, he has 3 daughters, and then I guess like at the time, maybe it's still like that now, I don't know. So like daughters aren't able to inherit, or like it has to be a male heir. So like even like the guy's oldest daughter, like I guess she can't be like be bequeathed whatever. So it has to go to her son. So to have a son, then she has to be married. So then there's like this whole like the other whole big dynamic to it is trying to find husbands for the daughters. Ooh, excuse me. Just crazy too to think about. That sucks. And the one daughter, what does she say? Because she's like, if it seems like women, she's like, it's like we spend our lives not allowed to do, like it I can't remember what she said, but it's basically like she's saying, she's like, yeah, so she's like, as women, it's just seems like we spend our whole lives like not being actual people until we get married, and then we're a wife or something like that. But she was saying like basically, yeah, saying like what bullshit it is. That's gotta suck. Because like I guess because their family's pretty well off in general, and it's like, but so even if they have money, she can't like inherit it or really do anything with it until she has a husband, and then the husband is the one like that, has to put his name on sign and do all that kind of stuff. Crazy. It sucks. But yeah, Downton Abbey. What was I talking about before that? Other stuff. Rambling. 36 minutes. Holy fudge sickles. Fuck, I keep hearing banging. What there was. Oh. Yeah, so I was saying, I started the Facebook thing. Same thing, HoogkinBan Salon. There's the page. I think the page is, I don't know if it's private or not, but I don't know how that works. I'm still figuring out, like I said. And then, Discord, and then Deviant Art. So then there's all the same. Everything is Cohoogan. So I think it's like, deviantart.com/Cohoogan, I think. I'll put a thing up for that. So I'm basically using that to, because I try to put all the, all the the fan art stuff. I think that's what you call it. It's fan art stuff that I make. I mean, it's on HoogkinBanSalon.com. Sorry for sniffing in your ears. And then, so I put on HoogkinBanSalon.com. I started putting them on the Facebook stuff now as I figure out how to use it. And then I also put it, on Instagram, obviously. But now and then I also now I'm got a Deviant Art in there as well. Because I figure maybe, people that also follow. Yeah. And that's the thing I think I'm going to start doing too. Start putting up stuff from other people, like people that, just graphic. Is it, I asked Ethan what it's called. Because I feel weird calling it. I feel we're calling it art if I make it. The thing is, you call it fan art, but other people that do like graphic design or artist stuff, like legitimate fucking stuff, and some of them too, like I'll see these stuff, I'll go and look, and it's like I look like some of them people what do you call it? Like graphite. They do like lead pencil sketches or any kind of art. Like people, it's fucking incredible. I'm looking, it just looks real, it just blows my mind. And then looking, it's like they have like 200 followers or whatever. And I'm like, what? This person should be fucking famous. Like looking at this art, like they should just have I don't know where people buy shit. But anyways, it blows my mind. Like there's some like crazy talented people, and then nobody knows about them. Because a lot, like some of them too, there's just people that are just like, they're just artists. They just, it's fun for them, or it's just something they're good at, and they do it, and then they started putting it up on, post on Instagram or whatever. So like, hey, this is what I do. But anyways, yeah, maybe I'll start putting up some of those. I wish I remembered the name of one. This guy, he made one. I'll put it up, I guess. A good fan art one to check out is Heather Fakes It. Like she does a bunch of stuff for the Your Mom's House podcast. She like does a bunch of art for them, and then she makes like what do you call it? Tour or like their show posters for their shows for like show announcements or whatever. But she's like, YMA, your mom's house, pajama pants, pajama pantalones, pajama pants, and what else? Or I mean, she does a lot for like like mainly. I think she mainly does your mom's house podcast stuff. But she does like all kinds of different comedians and pop culture stuff. Anyways, like there's a bunch of fucking ones like. Well, I'll put a couple of good ones out. They fucking crack me up. And she's pumping stuff out. Constantly. Always making new stuff. That's one for sure. So maybe I'll start with this. Yeah. Heather Fakes It. Check her out. I know she's on Instagram. I haven't looked at, I'm assuming it's a she. Guess I can get in trouble for that these days, but. Oof. Oh yeah, I was trying to get my buddy O to come on here, but he's all fucking camera shy or something. I don't know. Come on. I'm not witty or whimsical. That's not how he doesn't sound like. Does that sound like Trump? He doesn't sound like that at all. But that's my whiny voice impression of him. But anyways, I feel like he's a lot more interesting than I. He's a people. I guess he said he's changed, but I don't know. He's always like people person and social. But anyways, whenever he gets his fucking ovaries out of a bunch or balls out of a tangle, we'll see if he comes on. Because I want to talk about. He's one of the people I talk about, like MMA or just combat sports in general, a lot. And so I feel like we could have some good convos because finding people that like to talk about combat sports is like pretty slim pickings. It feels like even coming out of the Marine Corps. Like I mean, there's people I know that a lot of the people like they will watch fights, but not a lot of people follow combat sports in general or in specific, and especially they don't follow like a lot of like maybe everyone knows, obviously like everyone knows who Conor McGregor is, or I mean everybody knows who Conor McGregor is, but that kind of thing. So people are like, oh yeah, John Jones, Conor McGregor, Iceman, Chuck Liddell. Saying Chuck Liddell made me want Pizza Hut pizza. But I'm not. What are some other things? Oh yeah, I'm still working on. So there's the Daniel Schmachtenberger episode that the Daniel Schmachtenberger episode that he did with Lex Fridman. Fucking incredible. So I've listened to it. It's 4 hours long. I've listened to it straight through, I think 2 or 3 times, and then I went back and I started taking notes from the beginning. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick, real easily. But I went back. What I want to do is. Sorry, let's see if I can do this more than one thing at a time. So what do I want to do is go through it and basically write notes for the whole thing. I guess my overall goal is to be able to understand everything that he's saying, and also be able to talk about, or talk effectively about a lot of the points that he brings up, or the concepts that he address or brings up. Let's see here. Where would I have? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Because there's a lot of stuff in there that I feel It's so so I'm trying to think, like, where else would I have? So this 4-hour conversation that Daniel Schmachtenberger has with Lex Fridman, outside of a podcast, like, where else would I have been able to listen to a conversation like this, or listen to somebody with this amount of knowledge and that has put a lifetime of work into, like, trying to understand things? Like, where else would I, like, if I was taking a course at a fucking Ivy League school, maybe, and then, or if you pay for, like, they have the masterclass series, those are fucking great, or the great courses, another great series, fucking love those, the great courses that go over all kinds of, like, different history. They even have stuff on just, like, cooking, but they get deep into, I mean, it's called masterclass, or that's great courses. So great courses, they get deep into each one of them. They're fucking great. I think they're set up to be kind of like a like college level type course, but in just like a listening, just like lecture, college level lectures, and you can just listen to them basically. But all the ones that I've listened to so far are great. If you like Egypt stuff, fucking check out the Brier, I think it's Bob, and then Brier. I'll put it up. This dude, so there's, like, always a whole mystery about, like, how they actually constructed the pyramid, like what system did they use to get all the blocks up there, and he came up with, I think, a theory that, like, is like the generally kind of like not accepted one, but like agreed on, like, oh, this is a good explanation. But also I think he's like the only person in modern history that he mummified a body, and he does. I'm pretty sure they have the videos because I saw clips, but I think he does. I don't remember if he does it like as a course or just as a thing. But he like mummifies a body using only the like the ancient Egyptian techniques. It's like, this dude's deep into fucking Egypt, right? Obviously, but he's great. His class, like, those courses are fucking incredible. So if you like Egypt type stuff, Bob Brier, I'll put his name up. Fuck. But yeah, that's a great courses series that I listened to multiple times. I'm trying to think of some other good one. There's a lot of good ones. But anyway, so for the Daniel Schmachtenberg thing, let me make sure All right. This is a. Oh, never mind. This is a thing that I said to my because I was telling him what I trying to explain to him, like, what I liked so much about this conversation between Daniel Schmachtenberg and Lex Fridman. And so I was like, my problem, or I was trying to figure out what my problem was, and I was like, oh, my problem is the problem. I can't imagine, I can't imagine knowledge that I don't already have. So it's like, we can imagine things, but how do you word that? Like, it's like, I can't know something that I don't know, which sounds simple and it sounds obvious, but I feel like the way we go through the world nowadays is we operate in a way where it's kind of like we act like we know, or it's almost as if it's like we're all saying that everything that we know is everything that there is to know, if that makes sense. It's like we don't account for the unknown unknowns, because whenever we're trying to kind of like assess a situation or a phenomena or people in general, it's like I'm losing my words. We don't acknowledge that we can't factor in the unknown unknowns, the things that we don't know, and that, yeah, like what is a known unknown? It's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, oh, I'm trying to calculate. Like I'm loading up a vehicle. And it's like, all right, I got to get all these things into that truck. It's like I know how many items there are. I know like how many people I have to help me, but I don't know the weight of each of the items that I have to load, which is going to be a factor in the end. But I can say that's a known unknown, so I can kind of try to account for the thing that I know I don't know. But the things that we don't know, we don't. Yeah, the things we don't know that we don't know, the unknown unknowns, like you can't factor for that because it's like we won't just like, or I guess we could, but we'd have to like extrapolate what's this dude, fucking Doctor Strange, like go through that time thing where he tries out a million different scenarios to figure it out. So it's like just us here sitting, we can't just imagine thing like, oh well, what if a dragon flew down out of, like, you know what I mean, what if we don't know that this thing exists, you know, and we can't, our minds were not able to like operate that, you know, level of fucking abstraction, like to be able to like have such control or strength in our ability to you know, manipulate our abstract thought, that we can create a thing that we don't know, you know what I mean, or I don't know what I mean, but I think that's kind of where I was getting at. But that's part of what is so like blows me away about with this whole conversation with Daniel Schmachtenberger. It's because he gets deep into that kind of thing. So let's see. I'm just gonna read. Let's see. So this is like on the first part of my notes. So the first thing I noted down is like, and this is him. This is Daniel Schmachtenberger. So these are my notes off of what he's saying. The problem with our perspectives is they are made from everything we know. I feel like we may tend to conflate everything we know with everything there is. Oh wait, did he say that or did I say that? Fuck, I need to like fix it. Anyways, so let me just read through this and then I'll say whatever. The problem with our perspectives is they are made from everything we know. I feel like we may tend to conflate everything we know with everything there is. I do not think it is a common practice to include consideration of what we do not know when evaluating information that forms our perspectives and opinions. These perspectives and opinions seem to be what we base our identities around as well. We interpret the information we call experiencing life and seem compelled to assign meaning to every element individually and in groups. I think this whole train of thought started because I was trying to think of a way to explain why I'm irked by explanations involving the motivations of extraterrestrials, ghosts, angels, and even gods. Oh shit. I think I said that. Is it Oh. Sorry, yeah. This is me. I'm looking at the wrong notes. But so this is another set of notes that I started based on my notes that I started about from the Daniel Schmachtenberger thing. Wait, what the? Anyways. Oh, here, maybe this is a good... What time am I at? But yeah, dude, it gets deep. Let's see. Let me just read that, because this is another thing I started writing based on that too. It's like, what if a higher level of abstraction meant being able to manipulate / interact with the physical properties of elements or adjust sensory reception, like seeing in other spectrums and experiencing things differently by effort. And then I said, then I was like trying to figure out what my train of thought that got me to that question. So then I said, listening to Daniel Schmachtenberger on the Lex Fridman podcast got me thinking about how the difference between us and our nearest ape relative is our capacity for abstraction. Chimps can find, and this is a thing that Daniel Schmachtenberger brought up. So this is all based on the stuff that he said. This isn't like this is my thoughts about this based on what he said. This is me figuring this out. but this is one of the examples he uses about how chimps use tools. What do I say here? Chimps can find and use tools, but they learn things from directly experiencing or witnessing them. They use a rock to cut a vine or twig, or they use a rock to cut a vine or a twig to catch termites. And through the experience, they choose rocks that cut better, and vine or twigs that, or they choose a rock that cuts the vines better, or they choose a stick that has a length or shape that gets the best results for pulling termites out, and that's based on their experience of using those tools. So then they know they choose rocks that cut better than the one they had before, or sticks that catch more termites than one that they used. So they learn experientially how to use the tools, or the value of the tool. They learn it through experience. So they can teach this to other chimps, but through a demonstration, by demonstrating the benefit of the use. You know what I mean? So it's not like they can be like, hey, I have this tool, I have this termite catcher 1000 and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, they just have a stick and they show. And when the other chimp or ape sees that they are pulling food, they're getting food with it, then that's how they understand. Oh, I get more food with this. So that's the concept that they get. So they learn tool use through experience. Demonstration of benefit of use. So Homo sapiens do the same. However, we are able to interact with abstract thoughts. We can look at the rock or stick and understand its properties as concepts, like sharpness and length. Abstract thought is what enables us to invent things we have not seen or experienced, and also results in language to communicate those. Our language was needed to transfer and coordinate these abstractions. It's like we give things meaning to manipulate them more efficiently to our benefit. Our tool creation, our language creation, our coordination with each other are the results of a certain type of capacity for abstraction. Graduating the complexity of stone tools required understanding why one stone is sharper than the other. So that's, like Homo sapiens, us moving from Stone Age into, to fucking, like hunter-gatherer Stone Age, and then go to agrarian, start domesticating, tool building, then we build shelters, and then so we start domesticating animals, and it's like the agrarian age, and then their tools, our capacity for abstraction, then we build on the previous knowledge and inventions of the people before us. So then it's like it grows, it's just exponential. So we go from like agrarian or hunter-gatherer to agrarian to industrial to the information age to whatever it is we're like moving into now. Where was I? Our tool creation, language, blah, blah, blah. Oh, all right. So graduating the complexity of stone tools required understanding why one stone is sharper than the other. This begins with asking what the abstract principle called sharpness is, and then be able to invent a sharper thing. So building on to the previous ones, and then through language we're able to pass that knowledge down to. So that abstraction makes language and the need for abstract representation. So we started speaking and writing, which enables the ability to coordinate in increasingly advanced sets of ways. Oh, and that's maybe what we think of as consciousness is really just infinite iterations of a capacity for abstraction. I don't know. It sounded complex, so I was like, ooh, that sounds good. But anyways, there's so many things to think about. But so then I started thinking about what a higher order of abstraction might be or look like. Then I started thinking about what if our current level of capacity for abstraction limits our ability to interact with physical laws. And then what if a higher level of abstraction meant being able to manipulate, interact with the properties or elements, or just sensory reception, like seeing in other spectrums, experiencing things differently, like by effort, like purposely doing that. And then now we're caught up to the ramble that I started at the beginning. So I kind of started out, I was thinking about, because because you know all the comic book movies and superheroes and people like the superhuman abilities and mutant abilities. So I was trying to think about, because like if we were to look at other apes, it's kind of like we're like the X-Men in a way, because it's to me, it's because it's crazy to think about, or it's interesting to think about the difference our ability you know, our what is it? Our you know, our capability, or our capability for abstract thought, like what that just changing, or the difference in the way we used our minds to experience, or to understand our experiences. So to understand the other senses of, you know, the light hitting your eyes, and taste and sound, and taking those and being able to take all those different things and then understand them as in different groups, and then also understand them as its individual elements. Just the ability and practice of doing that, like what that has done for, you know, human this whole species. Because now, instead of us only basically being products of our ancestors' responses to you know, selective competitive pressures in the environment, like, you know, like if we're living in fucking the jungle and we have to like hunt for food, and then like whoever can climb trees the best, they're gonna more likely to live, because they can get away from the ground dwelling things. So then they live longer, which means they reproduce more or at all, which means their offspring, you know, they have those DNA traits, so then those traits get carried on. So those kind of those are the what I'm saying by the selective pressures of the environment. So instead of those pressure, so instead of the environment shaping, so instead of like what am I trying to say? So instead of us, I'll just get simple like that. So instead of the environment kind of shaping us, who we are and who our offspring are, we can now, because we understand, we're able to take, you know, look at something and be like, oh, I can use, that's a rock laying on the ground, but I can use that to do something else. That our ability to do that made it so that you know, the tool creation and also language, which the coordination, just like Dan Schmachtenberger was saying, then we're able to interact on like more complex levels, and it builds on itself. So now we're at a point where we've become, and this is another point he makes, is that we became apex predators in every environment. Because used to be, you know what I mean, like polar bears, they're the apex predators of the fucking Antarctic. Is that where they're at? Or, I don't know. Wherever polar bears are, they're the apex predators of there, but you don't see them, you know what I mean? They don't come down south and start fucking up you know what I mean? Warmer climates. It's like the things that make them, they're able to survive well there, they're not able to survive well in a different environment. But as humans, we through we made tools which gave us better, you know, teeth and claws than other predators. And then when we started fucking throwing spears, and especially when we started shooting arrows, and we were fucking, and then also we So then we increased the range of our claws. So now we can like our claws can reach fucking hundreds of yards. And um, what's the other part of that? Oh, clothing. Like so fire, because you can live in colder climates, and then clothing. So we basically create little microclimates. So we're able like yeah. So like like first clothing was almost like the first spacesuits. You know, like because we can't right now we're not able to live in space. We need oxygen and you know, I mean we got to keep our body certain temperature and whatnot. But then so then we build spacesuits so we can go in space. Fuck, we're going to other planets. We're such. I'm getting ahead of myself. So like the first clothing that like humans were wearing it's almost like the spacesuit because it's like oh now we're able to with heavier clothing we're able to go into harsher environments, more like colder environments, and then so we make it so that these like little microclimates or is it a climate microclimate? Yeah, I guess microclimate around ourselves so that we're able to go to other climates where if we were just our naked bodies we wouldn't survive, and then now that we're able to exist there, then we have our tools and our coordination, we're able to then we become the apex predator in that climate. So we've done that where we've become the apex predator in every every environment that we know. And we've surpassed it. Another point Daniel Schmachtenberger makes is that we've even surpassed being apex predators to the point where, like, we're like fucking we have the capability to end entire species, and we could destroy our entire world, even on an accident right now with this technology we have. We could even do it not on purpose. And like another point he made about like so like. What do you call them? Orcas, apex predators. Fucking eat great whites. They fucking like razor open great whites. Maybe I'll find some pictures. There's this thing because there was great white sharks disappearing around like I think Cape Horn, and then a couple somewhere in New England I think, and then somebody caught it on video. So that the orcas they come in, and they figured out that if they grab the great white, they grab them because they can outmaneuver them, and they coordinate with each other. So they can coordinate with each other. Then they outmaneuver the great white. They grab them by their fin and turn them upside down. Once they flip them upside down, I guess it like paralyzes. They go immobile. I don't know. Maybe it's like a equilibrium thing or something. So once the orcas figured out once they flip the fucking great white over, then they're just paralyzed. Then they just like with their teeth. They said because they were finding the corpses, they thought it was like a poacher, like someone just grabbing the shark and then stealing the liver. So I guess it's like the fatty. It's like the most delicate part, because it has the most fat in there and energy or whatever. So and that's the orca's favorite part. So they just catch these bitches, turn them upside down. So they pass out, slit them open, take their liver out, and then bounce. So they're just like serial killing these fucking. Oh, it's like Fagua, I don't know, but they're just like serial killing these fucking great white sharks. And but even that, like that's incredible. Just to think about that itself, because because they were finding that, and I think they found there was like a specific pod of orcas that was doing it, and I don't remember if they found that they were teaching it to other ones too, but then I think they narrowed it down to like a specific pod of orcas, because there's like two of them. They have like the Free Willy, when they go in captivity or whatever, their things flump over. But anyway, so they like narrowed it down or identified or attributed it to like a specific pod or two specific orcas, but they're doing it like in New England and then the Cape Horn or whatever of South Africa. And so like if they're doing that, like there's nothing in the fucking ocean that's gonna fuck with like they can't. But even still, so they can go and they can wreck. Like if they organize and they're like, we're gonna eat all the fish. I mean, they can only eat so many. But what do as humans? We can change the entire fucking landscape. We can turn entire swaths of the ocean into fucking deserts. Just with our dragging those nets and even all this fucking oil that we're like drilling up that fucking just spills everywhere. Like we're just destroying. And think about, fuck, I might have to put it up because I don't know. Whenever the first, what was it, Sputnik? When the Soviets sent up Sputnik. Whatever year that was. I don't know, 1958? What was it? I'll put a thing up. Let's say, well, let's even say if it, what year is it right now? 2020? Let's even say, I don't know. I think it was like, I'll look it up. Whatever it was. Let's say if it was like 1950. Was that like 70-something years? So in the period of 70-something... so two things. Sputnik goes up. And then we all start putting up satellites. There's zero, like... I mean, there's stuff that orbits the Earth or whatever, but for the most part, there's not. But now there's like a fucking ring of garbage spinning around our planet that we made. That it wouldn't have existed, and it didn't exist, and it wouldn't have existed. Except we started shooting metal garbage up into the fucking, or outside atmosphere, like into orbit around Earth. So it's just like like a trash field up there, like the rings of, what is it, Jupiter or whatever. There's garbage rings of Earth, and then when we invented plastic, or created plastic or whatever, either right before or right during or right after World War I or II. Maybe one. I don't know. Maybe it was rubber tires. I don't know. Either way. So now we have the trash island in fucking the ocean. It's mostly plastics because it doesn't. We made a substance that doesn't break down. Like even if all that metal shit in thousands of years or whatever, whenever it falls to the earth, if it doesn't burn up on re-entry, like even metal shit laying in the ground, it's gonna break down. Like, but plastic, it just fucking sits there. So like in this less than 100 years, we've surrounded our planet in metal garbage, and we've created fucking islands of plastic and all kinds of other garbage in the ocean. And we're also just fucking scraping all the fish out of the ocean, shooting up all our chlorofluorocarbons, whatever, fossil fuel shit. So I guess, yeah, I'm getting to what I was saying of, oh shit, all right, I'm gonna cut off here a sec. Getting to where we, oh yeah. So we've gone past so we became apex predators in every climate, and then now we've surpassed that to the point where we're changing, even more than just changing our little environments that we live in. We are changing the entire planet. And now we're going, we landed on the moon, if you believe it or not. But I mean, we can get to space at the very least. I mean, I don't know, that's a whole other thing. If people when I was in high school, I saw this thing on, I can't remember, but I was like, oh shit, it was fake. But then, like, looking back, is like, if they were to fake it, how would that never come out? Like, think all those astronauts that they have to live their whole rest of their lives pretending that they went to the moon. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think there are no deathbed confessions. No one slipped to their girlfriend or whatever. And to their side chick. Side chick made me think of something. Maybe I'll talk. I wanted to talk about it in another. Anyways. But anyways, yeah. So, and that just the astronauts. So all the astronauts that went to the moon, landed, or not all of them landed, but went up, came back, and were part of that whole mission. So all of them, for the rest of their lives, have to lie to the entire country, go on TV, do all this stuff, which I guess, yeah, it's possible someone could do that. So each one of them all have to lie, and each one of them has to never tell a single other person, no one in their family, no one just because they got drunk and fucking or whatever and just fucking spilled the beans. Is that racist? Spill the beans? I don't know. Is that one of those old things? I found out, what do they call it? Saying in country. It's talking about being in Indian country back in the day from, I didn't know that. I thought it just meant, oh, I'm in the country that I'm deployed to. That's what I always thought it meant. But anyways, so then, yeah, they would never tell their parent or never tell anyone in their family. No one. So those number, I'm embarrassed. I don't know. However many number of people that were in that mission, just like specifically the astronauts. So even them, like, there's at least 4 of them. It's like 4 people knew that it was fake and never told a single other person. That's tough to believe. So then, not only that, and that's I'm saying that's if only they knew, or they're the only one. It would be impossible to fake the entire thing without all the support staff and all those people, because you have to like make up the fake studio and all that kind of shit, and that would be the greatest kept secret. I feel like obviously I'm not a mathematician, I don't know, but I feel like just the odds of any secret that 4 people know being kept by those 4 people, no one else, for however many years it's been, let's say, what are the odds of that being possible? And that's only saying the astronauts keeping a secret. There's all the other people that fucking built their suits, the people that fucking were there for the launch, all the fucking people plotting out. And then that's the other thing too. So then you're gonna say that they've got a whole crew of scientists and fucking Nazi mathematicians and shit that are plotting this out, knowing that they're not gonna make it, or are they doing real math? So they're like, oh yeah, this is the real math, and the people are just like, oh cool, yeah, good, just give us the math we like, because we're gonna make it no matter, you know what I mean? Like there's just way too many holes, too many chances for it to even come out by accident, I feel, you know what I mean? So yeah, I said all that to say, like, when I was in high school, I was like, oh, we faked it, but now I'm like, it just on that alone, it would be impossible. That would be an impossible secret to keep. Unless I drugged them and they thought they went to the moon. Anyways, fuck, I got way off from. Oh yeah, but I was saying, yeah. So we went from becoming apex predators in whatever environment we were in to equipping ourselves with clothing, tools, and the coordination to invade other climates and become apex predators there as well, to the point where it's like we're beyond, we're something else beyond, we're fucking monsters. We just crush and devour everything that we come in contact with. It's pretty nuts. Let's see, where am I? I'm like 118, 119 right now. But yeah, that's one of the other things I need to work on. It's those nuts. But anyways, check out fucking Daniel Schmachtenberger. That maybe I'll put a link or something. I don't know. Yeah, man, he gets deep in my brain wrinkles, or my brain. Yeah, I think there's some other stuff, but fuck it. I'm at an hour 20 right now. Good enough. I go. You know what? Maybe I think I'm gonna do a Hogan fights right after this. So I don't know if, for those of you with sharp eyes, so far I don't think I've worn the same. I try to wear something, I don't know, different every for every episode. But I guess so. If I do end up making a Cahogan fights right after this one, I'm gonna be wearing the same thing. But whatever. He's in a little, I think he's like a little Korean girl. Whatever. I didn't even find that. It's funny. But anyways, that is about it. Thank you very much. Fuck, I felt like there was one more thing. But nope. That's it. Sige. Oh, I feel like Tagalog with a Korean accent. Sige. Yeah. Anyways, fuck you.